रामचंद्र श्री
साई माँ, देवी सरस्वती माँ,
देवी साई माँ, देवी
सरस्वती माँ
पतित पावन नाम
पतित पावन
दीन दयालु परम कृपालु
दीन दयालु परम कृपालु
दीन दयालु परम कृपालु
दीन दयालु परम कृपालु
रक्षा करो भगवान
रक्षा करो भगवान
साई कृपा करो भगवान
साई कृपा करो भगवान
भगवान पतित पावन
भगवान भगवान पतित पावन
दया करो दया करो भगवान
दया करो भगवान
साई पतित पावन
साई पतित पावन
दीन दयालु परम कृपालु
दीन दयालु परम कृपालु
रक्षा करो भगवान
रक्षा करो भगवान
साई कृपा करो भगवान
साई कृपा करो भगवान
भगवान पतित पावन
शंभो महादेव मल्लिकार्जुना शंभो महादेव मल्लिकार्जुना
शंभो महादेव मल्लिकार्जुना
मंगलचरणा त्रिलोचना
मंगलचरणा त्रिलोचना
मंगलचरणा त्रिलोचना
मंगलचरणा त्रिलोचना
पिनाकपाणि पार्वती रमणा
पार्वती रमणा
पिनाकपाणि पार्वती रमणा
पार्वती रमणा
भवभयहरणा सनातना भवभयहरणा सनातना पतिपुरीश्वर पतित पावना
पतिपुरीश्वर पतित पावना
पतिपुरीश्वर पतित पावना
पतिपुरीश्वर पतित पावना
शंभो महादेव मल्लिकार्जुना
शंभो महादेव मल्लिकार्जुना
मंगलचरणा त्रिलोचना
मंगलचरणा त्रिलोचना
पिनाकपाणि पार्वती रमणा
पार्वती रमणा
भवभयहरणा सनातना
सनातना
पतिपुरीश्वर पतित पावना
पतिपुरीश्वर पतित पावना
पतिपुरीश्वर पतित पावना
पतिपुरीश्वर पतित पावना
शंभो महादेव मल्लिकार्जुना घनश्यामा सुंदरा बंसीधरा प्रभु कृष्ण कन्हैया तुम हो मेरे माँ बाप घनश्यामा सुंदरा श्यामा सुंदरा घनश्यामा सुंदरा श्यामा सुंदरा बंसीधर प्रभु कृष्ण कन्हैया बंसीधर प्रभु कृष्ण कन्हैया तुम हो मेरे माँ बाप भैया तुम हो मेरे माँ बाप भैया घनश्यामा सुन्दरा देवकी तनया हे नन्दलाला दीनबान्धवा द्वारकनाथा राधा हृदय निवासा हरे कृष्ण मधुसूदना मुरलीधरा पतीश्वरा सत्य साईश्वरा पतीश्वरा सत्य साईश्वरा घनश्यामा सुन्दरा
Om Shri Sai Ram. To that supreme effulgence which illumines the sun, which may be concealed to our vision, we pray that it reveals itself in all its glory and enlighten all of us. And to that same supreme effulgence seated here as Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, our reverential pranams at his divine lotus feet. Respected elders, guests, staff, students, everyone seated here, and all those watching us live from around the world, happy Sankranti, happy Pongal, happy Bihu. This morning, we will commence the proceedings with a Vedic invocation by our girl students who are pursuing their BA in Vedic Studies from the Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, and they will be chanting the Bhu Suktam.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Bhumir Bhumnadyurvarinantariksham Mahitva Upasthete Devyaditegnimannaadamannadyayadade Ayangau Prishnirakramidhasanan Mataram Punaha Pitarancha Prayansuvaha Trigum Shraddhama Virajati Vakpatangaya Shishriye Pratyasya Vahadyubhihi Asya Pranadapanatyantascharati Lochana Vyakyanmahishasuvaha Yatra akriddhah paro vapamanyuna yadavartya Sukalpamagne tattava punastrodipayamasi Yatte manyuparoptasya prithivī manudadvase Aditya vishveta deva vasavascha samabharan Medini Devi Vasundhara Syadvasudha Devi Vasavi Brahma Varchasaf Pitrinagushrotrang Chakshurmanaha Devi Hiranyagarbhini Devi Prasuvari Sadhane Satyayane Sida समुद्रवती सावित्री हनो देवी मह्यङ्गी महीधरणी महो व्यतिष्ठा शृङ्गे शृङ्गे यज्ञे यज्ञे विभीषिणी इन्द्रपत्नी व्यापिनी सुरसरिदिहा वायुमती जलशयनी श्रियन्धाराजा सत्यन्धोपरिमेदिनी शोपरिदत्तं परिगाया विष्णुपत्नी महीं देवीं माधवीं माधवप्रियां लक्ष्मीं प्रियसखीं देवी नमाम्यच्युतवल्लभाम् ॐ धनुर्धरायै विद्महे सर्वसिद्ध्यै च धीमहि तन्नो धरा प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु।
The harvest season is an opportunity for all of us to pray and to offer our gratitude to Surya Bhagwan, the sun god, the source of all life. During this time, it is said that the sun moves towards the north, or it is called Uttarayana. Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba once, during a Sankranti discourse, very beautifully described the inner essence, the inner significance of this word Uttarayana. I quote what Bhagwan said. He said, Uttarayana is a matter of attitude when you set sight on Brahman, which should be your goal. And setting sight on Brahman is Uttarayana. When you crave the thought of the Lord and the company of the godly at all times, that itself is Uttarayana. That itself is the movement towards your goal and towards north. On this auspicious morning, let us all collectively pray and offer a moment of our gratitude to that divine master who is helping us propel towards our goal every single day, to rise above our human tendencies and to detach ourselves from the illusions of this world, so that ultimately that who wants to reveal itself to us will reveal one day. This morning, we will begin by inviting our beloved Dr. C. Sreenivas, Chairman of the global chain of the Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Hospitals, to address all of us.
Most revered Swami, dearest Sadguru, it is becoming difficult to address you because to all of us, you are far more than an address of dear. I think all of you will agree that we must discover a new way of addressing our dear Sadguru in a more resonating way, that he is us and we are him, and that we are being led, as Bhuvana so beautifully said, as guided by beloved Sathya Sai, and now with dear Sadguru, our dear one, on this auspicious and truly momentous occasion of Makara Sankranti. Dear brother Narasimha, sisters and brothers, and more particularly, so many teachers and students present here on this most auspicious morning, referred so rightly as the commencement of the calendar year as enshrined in our scriptures. What was enshrined as a commencement becomes so pious to all of us because commencement in the scriptures was a sign of the dawn of auspiciousness. And that is why, in our own ways, we dress up in the most auspicious manner. We make dishes, we observe celebrations in every part of the country in our own ways, reflecting the region of the country or the world that we come from, in celebrating what truly is that cardinal virtue of auspiciousness. That all life which is gifted to us is auspicious, assumes such a magnificent meaning that this day, and all the more this moment, for all of us sitting in this hallowed presence, in this hall, I think we are all at the apex of auspiciousness, of reverence and devotion to that divine in whichever, whatever form it relates to us. The beauty of life with Swami has been that every opportunity is conveyed to us that auspiciousness is really life. It was yesterday when dear Swami, in a context, asked me to take some individuals to our hospital. And as we were leaving, one was taken to see two little children who got their gift of life thanks to our doctors here. And more importantly, I want to submit to you, which will signify what Swami does as the commencement of auspiciousness, which is what we are all sitting here to observe. What I saw there was something one is used to, the child who otherwise may not have been enjoying the packet of biscuits that it was, because it just underwent a procedure, all full of energy. But what touched me at that point was the mother, who also underwent a heart operation to get a gift of life. Now here was in Swami's institution, a child that got a gift of life, got by a mother who got a gift of life also from Swami's institution. And that to become the first child to have got that gift of life, it occurred to me on the cusp of Makara Sankranti, what greater auspiciousness can this be, where life is beginning as a gift from the divine, from a mother who also got her life from the divine, and both happened to come to an institution of the divine to commence their lives. To me, somehow, the whole of yesterday until now signifies what Makara Sankranti is. And the whole team there, and the eminent Dr. Sudarshan, who was there, mentioned what a classic case of study and research this can be. Digressing from Makara Sankranti, there are several such cases that we see day in and day out. But what I'm submitting to you is auspiciousness and commencement of life with dear Swami begins with a new word that he is giving to all of us, which is dignity to life. Dear Swami translates auspiciousness of the scripture into dignity to each and every one of us. To somebody who has no hope, to somebody who I see these lovely children decked in saris and then in dresses, walking in a troop fashion, coming into this hall, signifies to me dignity. What will that little strapling of a child, must be 11 years or 10 years, tomorrow grow up into? What kind of an environment is Swami creating? So conducive, so beautiful to shape you and mold you into what our scripture defined as life, as auspiciousness. This is what Swami does, that he makes the commencement of life, which is auspiciousness, to a life itself of auspiciousness, through what he does in bringing dignity to life. It is said also that if you leave the body on this day, as Bhuvana pointed out in a different way, is also the moment that it takes you to the ascension of the immortals. We all do know the mythology and the story of Bhishma Pitama, who I believe waited for 58 days for this very day and thereafter to leave for immortality. It is also so, in a very coincidental way, that I learned today that there is a Bhishma Asana, wherein on this day, and in Sathya Sai Sanjeevani in Rishikesh, I understand they practiced in Rishikesh, which is again the most holiest of holy, which is again, if you have a bath in the Ganga, they say on this day where hundreds and thousands throng to have a bath in the sacred river, and the practice of the Bhishmasana, which I believe resonates and takes you upwards into the immortals. So the meaning that Swami gives us of auspiciousness, of commencement of life, span of life, and the ascent of life into the lifeless, timeless, is what truly Makara Sankranti is. And what an occasion for us and moment to spend these moments with dear Swami. Dear Swami, may all our lives here and all everywhere be filled with that great blessing of auspiciousness, because in auspiciousness is all grace, all blessing, all goodness, and all truth, which ultimately is what we are. God bless all of you on the sacred day of Makara Sankranti, the day of auspiciousness. Sai Ram.
May we now invite our dear Chancellor of the Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, Sri B.N. Narasimha sir, to address all of us on this auspicious morning.
on this most auspicious morning, we offer our loving pranams at the feet of Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai. Very dear brothers and sisters and students, boys and girls, Bona has pointed out the significance of the festival that we are all celebrating on this wonderful morning in the most auspicious presence of a knower of God, who is the very embodiment of God. And Sri Sreenivas has said, anything that is auspicious should confer dignity on human life. The true auspiciousness can be understood as a divine experience which manifests itself in the form of compassion. In the words of Sadguru, compassion is not the right word. When you use the word compassion, we think somebody higher is compassionate to somebody who is lower. The word is love. Rarely we find Sadguru using the word compassion. If you study the cultures of the world, you will find that every culture has certain festivals which were all devised by wise men. In India, we call them sages, rishis, who gave us so many parvadinas, or the festivals. And if you go deep into this study, you find that some festivals are based on geographical phenomena, and some are based on historical phenomena or mythological phenomena, as was very beautifully explained by Brother Sreenivas. What is the purpose of all these festivals? But there is only one purpose of all these festivals. When the wise men of the world in different parts of the globe designed or devised these festivals, they had only one purpose in their mind. The geographical phenomena like sun traversing from south to north, like on this Sankranti day, maybe this phenomena may be different. Historical phenomena may be different. When we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, which is a historic phenomenon, I would call it. But the main purpose, there is only one purpose. The purpose is to wean away our minds from obsession with the world, which ultimately leads only to misery and sorrow, and lead us back to our divine truth, a divine reality, which alone can give us true happiness, true joy, and bliss. This is amply manifested in the beautiful quote of Bhuvana, quoting Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Many of us who are elders here have heard a good number of discourses of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and all of us are very fortunate today that we hear many discourses of Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai. What they do on all festival days is this. They will do their best to cajole, to coax, to goad us, to wake up from this slumber of body consciousness and awaken to divine consciousness. That is the essence of the message. They do it in different ways, like a loving father trying to guide his beloved children. They tell the same thing, but in many attractive ways so that, the children take to the right path, the spiritual path. Then why so many, we have celebrated so many festivals. So on every festival day we say that we make a beginning. What does it mean? Here I would like to quote a very profound psychologist who said, this is a great truth about you and me and about all of us except Sadguru Madhusudan Sai here. There is nothing consistent with the human mind other than its tendency to drift towards evil. See, my human mind is very inconsistent, but there is one consistency in human mind. Left to itself, it will always drift towards evil. What does it, when we say evil, we have to equate it with ignorance, with body consciousness, with selfishness. You leave the mind to itself, anybody's mind for that matter, which was so very succinctly put by Arjuna in his question to Lord Krishna, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, it is true of me, it is true of you. Maybe somebody's mind is less fickle, that's all. The mind is very fickle unless there is a goading force, unless there is an uplifting experience in our lives, which God gives us in many, many ways. One of which, Brother Sreenivas put it so very beautifully about the child and the mother. See, it is God has given that experience. That's a moment to feel our upliftment to the highest level. Therefore, on a very auspicious day, it is possible we do inauspicious things, then the day becomes inauspicious. Any day on which we do auspicious things is an auspicious day. This is what Bhagavan Baba also said, that is what Sadguru Madhusudan Sai also is telling again and again. That is the day on which you get the opportunity to have the darshan of a godly person, a saintly person. The day on which you are able to give some joy to someone else who really needs that kind of touch of love and compassion, that is an auspicious day. Therefore, on a very auspicious day, when we say that, we are making a beginning, what does it mean? We have become slaves to our mind. We make the beginning, stop or go back. That's why we make a lot of beginnings. In a lighter vein, to quote Mark Twain, he said, it is very easy to give up smoking. I have done it 100 times. See, it is not a positive statement. If I say I have done 100 surgeries or 100 cath lab procedures like Dr. Yogesh, who is sitting here, our dear brother Yogesh, who did the cath lab procedures with the help of other doctors and nurses. See, that is a laudable thing. When you say, I have surrendered 100 times, it is not laudable. Because what does it mean? You have surrendered and then you have gone back. Therefore, all that we need to know is, how do we really keep ourselves motivated and inspired so that our mind will not drag us back to our old ways? See, that is all the essence of all the messages on all festivals. And Swami has written a very beautiful article for Vani, which was published just last Tuesday. See, all of you, those of you who know Kannada should read it. And English article also is being circulated. He quotes Acharya Chanakya, the 4 steps to achieve liberation. And many of us have read that or heard that any number of times, but we did not note the significance which Sadguru Madhusudan Sai points out in the article. The first thing is, Tyaja Durjana Samsargam. Second is Bhaja Sadhu Samagamam. Third, Kuru Punyam Ahoratram. And fourth is Smara Nityam Anityatam. About the first two, Swami puts it so very wonderfully there. He says, it is not enough if you give up bad company. Teja Durjana Samsargam. Give up bad company, fine. It is not enough if you do that. Bhaja Sadhu Samagamam. Get into good company. He also explains what is bad company. Generally, we think bad company means, wicked people or having bad habits. Real bad company, as Swami explains it there, is the company of those people who are complete materialists, who say that one and the only purpose of life is to enjoy the pleasures of the world, otherwise life is of no use, and they have a lot of very intelligent philosophies to support themselves. See, such people have to be avoided. Otherwise, what happens? You only give up the bad company. Okay, give up the bad company. And you don't get into good company. And Sadguru points out that the mind has the fundamental tendency of going back to its old ways. Therefore, it is not good enough. You do only give up bad company, but getting into good company every day is very important. And we are all so very blessed that we have this not just satsanga, it is divya sangha. We have the company of the divine every day. See, that is why Sadguru points out, at this point of time, the most powerful spiritual place is this place, Sathya Sai Grama, Muddenahalli, for two reasons. The first reason is, this land is sanctified by the touch of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. 31 times he has visited, and he had walked around all the places. And here from Premdeep, before we built this stage, which you see on your western side, Baba came there. So every place he has blessed. See, therefore, this is most powerful. And second is, this is here the divinity unfurled itself. Divyateya anavarana ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯಿತು. ಸದ್ಗುರು ಮಧುಸೂದನ್ ಸಾಯಿಯವರ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ದಿವ್ಯತೆಯ ಅನಾವರಣ ಆಗಿದೆ. The manifestation of divinity in the form of Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, and who made such a profound statement about himself on last 30th of November. Sadguru Madhusudan Sai has the body of Madhusudan, mind of Narayan Bhatt, heart of Sathya Sai Baba, and consciousness of Brahman. You need to just contemplate on this statement again and again so that we congratulate ourselves. What a great good fortune that God has bestowed upon us. With these words, I conclude and pray to Sadguru for his divine Sankranti message. Thank you very much.
Kathopanishad says, Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto kutoyam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. It's one of the most beautiful shlokas from the Upanishads. And it says, "Na tatra suryo bhati." There the sun does not shine, nor does the moon shine. There is no lightning over there. What to talk about this fire that burns here on earth? But as that shines, everything else shines in its light. And just as it shines, so as everything else. Sun in our culture and all cultures of the world is considered sacred and auspicious. Most of the cultures celebrate sun as some form of divinity because sun always does good to others. Without the sun at the center of the solar system, our life on earth is not possible. And everything else, everyone shines in the light of that sunlight only, which does not need any support because it is self-effulgent. However, our scriptures go one level deeper and say, no, sun is not the ultimate source of light. The light of all lights is that consciousness which makes us even experience the sunlight. Without that very consciousness powering us all, we can't even experience the warmth and the light of the sun. Therefore, that consciousness is the light in whose light even the sun, the moon, the lightning, the fire and everything else shines. And the beauty of the shloka, it says it not just shines when it shines, but it shines as it shines. For instance, if there is a red colored light in the room, everything else will look reddish. Or in a yellow hue of light, everything looks yellowish. Likewise, in the consciousness of Brahman, everything appears as Brahman only. This is ours in the first place. There was only this rope. And the fear and the anxiety and the worries were illusory. They were never there in the first place. It was an imagination. Only when the consciousness of Brahman shines within and without that we see the world in its true light in the true way. Till then, this world appears as different from us. Our Sreenivas said, how to define you, how to define me, how to define us. Because we are not different. How to address, how to call you, because we are not different. This oneness is the only truth. There is no other truth in the world. Everything else is a derivative of this truth. The original and the only truth is the truth of oneness of consciousness. And the one who knows this, Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati, the one who knows this truth becomes the truth. That is the only way to know this truth. Everything else you can know in the world as something other than you. But how do you know yourself? By becoming yourself. By being what you are, you know who you are. Likewise, our scriptures very clearly define, knowing the oneness is becoming the oneness. There is no other way. And that oneness manifests itself as pure love for all. For an ant to an elephant, from a baby to an old man, from animate to inanimate, for everything, that knowledge of the self practically manifests as purest of love, without any expectations and conditions. So what you see in the light of that love, these hospitals, schools, colleges, ashrams and centers, are simply the manifestation of that knowledge of truth. That there is only one, all of us are one. And when we know that, even one of us knows that, that one will be able to express that knowledge as love in every thought, word and action. And what you see outside is simply the manifestation and expression of that truth as love and service. Somebody asked me, some child, Once you become Brahmagyani, would you not become, when you know everything is an illusion, Maya Midam Idam, then what will you do? Would you like to participate in the world at all? Would you like to withdraw and be your own, be in your own space? What happens when you attain Brahmagyana? What happens? More schools happen, more hospitals happen, more giving water happens, more giving of nutrition happens, more loving of people happens, making the society even better happens, spreading joy and cheer to one and all happens, embracing all as your own, as yourself happens. All this is the byproducts of Brahmagyana. What does not happen, I can tell you, is just the opposite of it. You become recluse, hide somewhere, don't want to deal with the lower beings who have no knowledge of the self. These don't happen. What happens is all this. How do you know there is a Brahmagyani around? Look around what's happening. Look at the shadow and you know what the object is. Look at the reflection and you know what the source is. Look at all that which manifests around this place and you know what's happening here. Therefore, the best thing you can do as service to the world is to know who you are. Once you know that, you know everything else. And in that knowing, all this happens. All the auspiciousness happens. And Sankranti is a significant festival because this is now the end of the winters and the onset of spring. It will lead to the warm summers. There's a change of season. There's change of light during the day. There's more light, daylight, and less of darkness. And so to say, there is an upward or a northward movement of the sun. The truth is, sun does not move at all. We all know by now. Even scientifically we know. It appears that sun is moving. Likewise, Jnanodaya appears to happen in us. But we are always living in that truth only, unaware of it. There is no uprising that will happen on this day or in any of the days to follow. But only a revelation will happen. A revelation that we alone are that. There is nothing other than that. That is the truth that Sankranti brings us to understand and realize. When we set our eyes on Brahman, when we set our eyes means Brahman cannot be seen with physical eyes. When our vision becomes Brahman's vision, when we see everything in that light as one, that light of knowledge, that is true Sankranti. And that Sankranti cannot be celebrated in a physical way. That's a very deep understanding, a spiritual understanding of the truth. That is true Sankranti. But as I said, that knowledge manifests as love and service outside. So it can be celebrated by loving and serving. That way you still celebrate the truth. Once you know the truth, you do this. Or once you start doing all this, you will get to know the truth. It's a two-way traffic, I always say. The road that leads from here to Chikbalapur, the same road brings us back too. Either you know the truth of Brahman and then manifest love in the form of selfless service, or start doing selfless service, develop that love, and then know the truth of Brahman. It's possible both ways. So why all these institutions? Merely to enable us to realize the truth. Keep doing good work. Kuru punya mahoratram, that is what that's saying. Not enough if you leave the company of atheists and those who don't believe in the higher truth of consciousness, those who only believe this world alone is real and that's all it is. Leave the company of those and join the company of the good, those who believe in God, those who believe in goodness, those who believe in the greater truth of oneness. Join their company. And Kuru Punya Mahoratram, keep doing good day and night. Not enough if you join the company, sit in a corner of the hall and think you will achieve it. No. It has to translate into meaningful action. That's why all these organization and all the activities. To not just join the company of the good, but to join hands to do good. Kuru punyam ahoratram. Day and night we must do good, it is said. And what will happen after that? You'll be able to remember what is real, what is not. Smaranityam, anityatam. Continuously meditate, contemplate what is real, what is unreal, what is true, what is untrue. Continuously we have to meditate. When we forget that, we take unreal for real and get scared with the illusory snake that does not exist in the first place. So continuously contemplating is very important, but that is not possible unless you are continuously engaged in good work. And that is not possible unless you are in the company of the good people. And that is not possible unless you leave the company of the wrong. So it is a very simple way of uplifting ourselves. Uddharet atmana atmanam, atmanam avasadayet. Bhagavad Gita said, you alone can uplift yourself. And you alone can be the cause of your own downfall. You alone are your friend, you alone are your enemy, it says. It depends on what you decide to do with yourself. And Sankranti is one more chance to begin this effort, renew this effort, to recommit yourself towards this effort of your own upliftment. Atmano mokshartam. Sankranti is just a significant time. It reminds us again that we have to double our efforts, renew our efforts, rededicate and recommit ourselves to this greater cause of realization of the self within and manifestation as love outside, without. That is the whole purpose. That's love all, serve all. Love all part is this Brahman, knowledge of the self. Serve all part is the manifestation of that Brahman as doing good to everyone who is around you. This Sankranti also brings a lot more good, auspicious beginnings. Because this year is going to be filled with several beginnings, auspicious beginnings. Auspicious for ourselves and for the whole world. Right here, from here, many things would be started. People from around the world, leaders of the world would arrive here to seek guidance, to seek strength, to seek direction in leading their people in their own lands. This place, like the sun, will shed light of the truth on all humanity who are groping in the darkness of ignorance and selfishness and the limited thinking of their existence as mere bodies and minds. This place will shine the light of truth on all of them and help them realize that we are much more than flesh and bones, or thoughts and emotions. We are the spirit, the self, the truth. And that message will be sent out from this place, loud and clear to the whole world. So this place is a very significant place. It has a very, very important role to play in directing humanity towards divinity in the coming times. Some of it will happen through service activities, some of it will happen through sadhana, some of it will happen through satsanga. Many ways this will manifest itself. And this is not my will. This is not our Narasimha Murthy's will or Dr. Sreenivas's will or any of our. This is the divine will, that one will which does everything. So you are fortunate. You are fortunate. We all are fortunate. Because we are not merely the audience or the witness, but we are the very participants in this great work. And somehow with good fortune of many lives or blessings of many gurus, this opportunity has come our way. What did we do to deserve it? That you have to ask yourselves. But somehow, for whatever reason, this has come our way. What do we do with it now? We rise with it, we stay with it, or we fall down without it. Decide for yourself. Sankranti is that moment of truth. that moment of that decision. How do I want to lead my life here onwards? I want to see that divinity manifest more and more and more in each one of us. And that will happen with efforts. It's not something that will just happen because you landed here by chance. That's only Bhajasadu Samagam, the second step. Third and fourth won't happen. That needs efforts. That effort each one of us has to put. This morning I woke up and then I wanted to see the sun rising from the darkness. You see, the whole process I wanted to see. And I wanted to experience that how that Atman, once it starts manifesting oneself, how it removes the darkness of all ignorance from all lives. All the trees and the houses and the hills which were not visible a while ago, suddenly there is a beginning. Slowly it's turning bright. And that hue of redness everywhere in the sky. And then we wait and wait and wait for that moment of truth. And then through the dark eastern skies, a golden disk pierces through, cuts through all the darkness, tears the darkness with such confidence, such valor, such courage, and rises gradually till every tree, every leaf, every animal and bird and the house and men, hills and lands become completely clearly visible to the eyes. The whole phenomenon of sunrise is so beautiful, and today's sunrise, I personally wanted to make sure that I watch it all through. Generally, I'm busy doing other things. But it is simply the beauty of divinity manifesting as a sunrise, and Sankranti sunrise is even more significant because it tells us that this is how Atman should manifest in ourselves. And this is another beginning, another day. See, God is never tired of giving us another opportunity to start. Always willing to let us another chance to begin. So what if we didn't start yesterday? Begin today, God says. There is another sunrise, another opportunity, another Sankranti. So to all of you, on this Sankranti, all that I want to say is strive. Strive till you achieve. Don't give up. Don't be complacent. Don't undermine and undervalue this opportunity that has come your way. You might be a child in the class 6th, or you might be a university student, you might be a newcomer, you might be an old devotee, you might be a part of the mission, you might be on the fence as an audience, whatever be your position here is. For everyone there is a chance to rise and realize. And that is the idea of Sankranti. May this light of wisdom, this truth, this knowledge shine within and without. May in this light of truth, we see everyone as ourselves. We see everyone as one. May that oneness, that knowledge of oneness manifest as pure love for all beings, sentient and insentient. May that love reach out to the downtrodden, the marginalized, the suffering as service. And may that uplift the whole humanity into divinity with these words of blessings and good wishes to each one of you who is here and those who are watching on the webcast, and those who will wake up after some time in another country and will watch all the proceedings, and those subtle beings who are here manifested and watching all the proceedings, to all of them, my heartfelt blessings, that may this Sankranti truly, truly be an auspicious beginning on this journey of you towards yourself. I will come again in the evening. We also have a few auspicious things to do today, like the opening of our CT services, scan services. We also have the opening of the blood bank here, and an operation theatre, an additional operation theatre. We started with 4 theatres, but our doctors say that is not sufficient. We need more. So we are adding 2 more theatres. One of it is ready. Another one will get ready in short time. And of course, we will also be blessing the children who have been treated. They've undergone the CAT procedures. As you know, that work has begun along with Jayadeva Institute of Cardiology. They also had come and they assisted. So this is the way we will work together. We work together towards the same goal, which is Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya Cha. This you should never forget. This is our motto, and this should remain our guiding star, the true north. All the time we must march towards it. Very happy I'll come again in the afternoon.
ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे माता गुरुदैवं पर्यन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मर्यन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्राशयन ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकाररूपजस्वी साई महादेव सद्गुरु साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंधुको मंगल आरती अंधुको अंदर गिरिहारी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय
They say on Sankranti, Ellu Bella Tindu, Olle Matadi. So today's prasadam is Ellu Bella, isn't it?